What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Alan Dresser with the Gouda guys. Here in a freshly renewed map. I have gone into Photoshop and I've taken the pre-existing map for Dreidel City, and I have desaturated it so that it is now darker and it looks kind of sepia in its tone. But that's purely by coincidence because everything in the map is just generally brown because of sewage, because of wood, because of tiles. They just happen to look that way, but it does give this nice little vignette kind of a look. Anyway, we are back with the crew as per usual. Today we've got with us Tats, Katie, Shen, B, and Steve. How are you all doing?
I've been better, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright, yeah, I'm good. We are Sans 1 Mars today, as Mars has something that they need to deal with. But where we left off, we had found, with the crew, they'd found their way into what I'm calling the Deep Dark, which we might end up calling something else just to save from confusion and from me having to keep calling it, calling out this, like, disclaimer every time. But essentially, the Deep Dark in D&D lore is a deep underground, like, city network where people live. In this, instead, the Deep Dark is like this mirror dimension of your own material plane. It's where the shunned and the hidden go to live their lives on their own, away from other people. For instance, rogues, of which Victor is one, who spotted Arelli and hasn't had a chance to speak to her yet, but noticed something different about her. Doesn't quite add up just yet, but looks very similar, but has had their hair shaved off, wearing different clothes maybe, difference in bone structure. That doesn't make sense, but some difference, right? And you also, as a group, got a chance to speak to Rumpelstiltskin. He's still in his shop. He's still around. He gave you some information in return for you taking cursed items. He was upfront about what the curses were this time. You wanted to know, and he would give you some information based on that. And because he felt bad about one of you being hoodwinked into asking questions when they weren't truly ready for that responsibility, he gave you one free message to be sent by the squirrel demigod of Norse mythology, known as Ratatosk. Ratatosk is it's a thing in real world Norse mythology. It is a squirrel immortal who travels along the branches and worlds of the world tree, Yggdrasil, and passes on messages, and usually it's used by the gods, but Rumpelstiltskin just happened to have a parchment that was able to be used for just that purpose, to be sent to anybody in any realm for any purpose, with a maximum of 25 words to be used for that. Now, Ruby, being concerned about the cloak that she's still carrying around, wanted to get in touch with what's his name, Odin's ravens, who donated, we think, or maybe it was taken from them, we don't know, their feathers anyway, to make up this magnificent cloak. Yes, donated. The words that you used exactly were: apologies, accidentally acquired your feathers. Wish to return post haste. Please, need help. Fear ox. Jack's dead. Undead Rome. Buri's fault. Thanks. Want stop Ragnarok. That message was sent to Hugin, and I've looked this up with my Swedish friend, as he has a better connection to Norse background and mythology and stuff, and he was able to find the correct texts and tell me exactly what Hugin and Munin are known for and what their names actually mean, because we thought that it was thought and mind, because that's what I'd found when I was Googling it, and in fact it's so much more than that. Hugin is known for thought, feeling, mind, and consciousness, and Munin, which is the word for moon, is responsible for will, intent, concern, wonder, and curiosity. Wonder as in wandering, not wonder, like awe. So, yeah, Hugin and Munin. So you sent it off to Hugin. Because you said that you wanted to send it off to the one that was responsible for mind, and that is Hugin. So one of the ravens, one of Odin's ravens, will receive that message. There's no guarantee that you're going to receive a reply back, but you asked for help, and you did so in a humble way, and so we can only hope that that's going to work out for you. As we are at the moment, you are midway through your long rest, and 3 of you are yet to be spoken to by our usual dream-wandering friend. So, let's get on with it, shall we? Isabel,
Yo.
what do you think that you would be dreaming about on this night in question? What do you think you would be going in your mind with? With the events of the day, with everything that's led up to this, you letting your head down with Ruby again in another night's sleep, what would you be?
I think Isabel, although she was willing to burn the book for her friends, she's been dreaming about libraries instead, as if to say, "Phew, that didn't have to do. Have my book burnt."
Okay, cool.
I know it's random, but
as you your mind dwells on knowledge and information, and you've been talking about reaching out to Odin and his ravens, who are known for their wisdom, known for the information that they hold, and the thoughts and feelings on current times and the future and stuff. It's sort of a matter of public record at this point that the ravens are a little bit unwieldy and difficult to control, and Odin is an agent of chaos, if nothing else, but tends to operate on his own agenda, I think is fair to say, if you've read any of the things that I have about him anyway. You ponder on those, and you think about reaching out to someone as chaotic as this when you've struggled to find any kind of stability on your path through this world. And I think that you feel a weight sink into the bed next to you, as you now realize that you are already asleep. And the voice comes, "Hello, friend. I hear that you're interested in some information. Is there anything that I can help with?"
who are you again?
"Why, I'm your friend. Of course. I'm the friend to your entire party. Well, minus 1 or 2 who are a little untrusting. I don't know why. But I've heard that you and perhaps your party are interested in finding out some information about what might be going on."
We want to stop Ragnarok, that's the obvious thing.
Ah, yes. Ragnarok. Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? So, what do you understand of it?
I mean, it seems to be spewing a lot of chaos and basic end of the world shit.
And what end of the world shit would you be referring to?
Well, am I right to say that all the dead rising has got something to do with it?
Perhaps, perhaps not. There are no guarantees in this world, I'm afraid. I'm not privy to the information of the gods that you call gods, but I would wonder whether everything that's happening right now is as a result of it. There are plenty of other people in play, and many of them are powerful that you would not imagine. So I do wonder whether there are multiple things happening. I could perhaps illuminate your mind with this if you were to become my friend.
What's the catch, apart from friend, obviously?
Oh, there are no catches to being a friend of a person. I am just a person like anybody else. I'm here to bring you great times, joy, information, light, and a future of certainty. As I've mentioned to one of your friends, if you were to become a friend of mine, I would perhaps give you favours. I would allow you to take nice things, such as my help in the sewer system of this very city. You might have noticed that some of the guards disappeared at a very opportune time. Well, I just so happened to help with that. But I don't ask anything in return. I only ask that when your time is up, that you come and spend the rest of your eternity with me. And we would still be friends, of course.
What would you? This wouldn't ill affect my group, would it?
Well, I'm a friend of Ruby. How might I have hurt your group so far? Ruby is my friend, and others besides are coming round to the idea. Now, of course, I've not negatively affected your group so far, have I? I might have done, but I didn't, and that's a good thing.
Hmm. What exactly happened to
Izzy
those
is a very
guards?
good
I
name, and I
get
like
the
Isabella.
feeling they just didn't fly out to the sky and just leave us.
Say that again. The birds.
No, the guards.
Oh, the guards. Sorry, I was speaking to chat and didn't quite hear what you said. Oh, well, the guards, no. They didn't quite go up, exactly. Quite the opposite. They're with me now, but they didn't experience the pain of death. They're alive still. They're just with me. And that's okay. They live out their time with me now. And that's not a bad thing.
Sorry, I think you might be picking up my TV. Sorry. Well, not my TV.
Hmm.
Um,
How about this? I'll give you a little trial information. No guarantees. You don't have to become my friend immediately. But if I answer one of your questions truthfully, as much as I can tell you, because I don't know everything in this world, but a little bit is enough, I think, to wet the palate and show you that I am truly on your side. I'm not here to cause you any ill will towards me or towards anybody. I don't want to fight. I just want us to be friends, and I think that that would be a good thing for both of us. So, with nothing in return, you not making any promises whatsoever, what question do you have for me of the world? It could be the past, the future, or the present, and I'll do my best to give you an answer, as straight and true as I can. But of course, follow-up questions. Then we must become friends.
I want to know this ambrosia. Wrong thing. This ambrosia that the gods, she put does quotations of her fingers.
Yeah.
Are using. If we were to come across one of the gods again, is there a way to reverse its effects?
Are you asking whether we could make a god, as you say, mortal?
I guess I am.
Then I suppose the question that you're truly asking is what the nature of ambrosia is. Ambrosia does not grant immortality, it only extends your lifespan. Gods, these so-called gods, are not truly immortal. They just live a very long time. They get warped in their sense of their importance and they become self-important. And therefore they believe that they are truly immortal, as nothing has yet killed them. But just because you haven't died yet doesn't mean that you can't die in the future. Well, look, I've taken enough of your time, and I think that I've given you plenty to think on. I will be leaving you now to have the rest of your rest alone. Please consider my generous offer. I'll give you favours and treats galore. I've done just the same for Ruby, and all that I ask in return is that when you come to the end of your days, that we are friends together at last. Thank you so much, Isabel. I look forward to our future conversations. And she
Hold on to
leaves
that
you
thought.
to your she leaves you to your sleep. And Victor now.
Hello.
What do you think that Victor would be doing? Normally, when we have these conversations about what Victor does at night, he's pacing the room, he's making sure that he's keeping an eye on everybody. Everybody made sure, by the way, that they locked the door to this building and they did a sweep to make sure no one was in here. So there's plenty of stuff there for you to be reassured by before you got into this long rest. But is there anything in particular that you think you'd be doing now?
I think with the unsurety of what's going to happen next, I don't think he'll be necessarily pacing, but I think he's trying to sleep for a change because he's like, right, I need to rest for this. I need to be of a clear head, but he's just kind of laying and staring at the ceiling.
Okay.
But I think eventually he'll fall asleep, but it's very much like he's trying too hard to sleep.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure many people understand.
I 100% understand that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, you know, when you get angry because you're like, I know I'm tired and I know I need to sleep, but I
100% know that, yeah. You end up falling asleep more by exhaustion than you do by anything else.
Yeah.
Not by restfulness, but by the exact opposite. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
No,
Thank you so much, Tats. You absolutely.
Yeah, he's trying to sleep and knows it's important for him to rest when things are so kind of crazy, but that just makes it worse. But that just makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah. So as you lay your head down and you close your eyes, you're sort of expecting something to happen and nothing really does. And you wait for sleep to come and it doesn't. And eventually you feel this exhaustion leave you and you end up feeling like you're still lying in your bed. But this time it's slightly different. And you experience this difference firsthand in the fact that you are waking in your bed in the orphanage.
Okay. I think he'll like slowly sit up and like check what he's wearing and stuff and see if he has his equipment and such.
You see young Victor's body in young Victor's night dress. The usual gear that you used to sleep in.
Okay.
Around the
Is
room,
there anybody
you can
else in the
see.
room?
Yeah, around the room you can see it's the usual dormitory kind of situation. There's plenty of other beds around the room and plenty of other slumbering heads. The odd snore coming from the person in the corner, and a bit of a breeze coming in through a slightly cracked open window that you remember just always used to be jammed and could never fully shut.
Okay. And there's nobody else appears to be awake.
No. Just like there's like a dimly lit, about to go out candle at the end of the like room that they used to light. That was just sort of like keep it light enough for those who are afraid of the dark to be able to get off to sleep, but knowing that the breeze would eventually blow it out and then it would be dark. And this thing's about to get blown out by the wind.
Okay. I'm gonna go and catch the candle and like put my hand around it so it doesn't go out.
Okay.
Just so I can use it to see a little. I guess I've got dark vision, but
yeah.
But
so
the candlelight
for those who don't have dark vision in the room, it helps them out a lot. So you go and quickly grab this like brass tray that's got the little like it's like melted down to barely anything, but there's still a wick left in the middle, and they keep lighting it. So this like messy tray full of candle wax is there, like still lit, but with your hand around it. Occasionally you forget, but you know you had to learn to be as coordinated as you are, and young Victor, I imagine, would have slipped his hand into the wax a little bit too often, you know. And so you're getting like the odd singe every now and then. Where do you think that you would be going as young Victor in this moment?
I think as I'm I'm assuming I'm still kind of aware of like myself. I'm
Yeah.
not in the head of young Victor.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna look for Aureli's bed to see if she's there, because everything
Okay.
has been kind of connected to them.
Well, Aureli's just over the hallway. Different room. There were two main dormitories, and you can see that the door to yours is still open. The door to theirs is like mostly closed over.
Okay, I'm gonna go and just walk up to the door and kind of attempt to creak it open and see if they're in bed.
It's like the
'Cause-
slightest of creaks that you remember from that top hinge that no one ever bothered to grease. And as it opens, you can definitely see signs that Aureli's bed, that's like second away from the door, on this side, is got pillows in its place instead of Aureli.
Ow. Is the window open in here?
No. But the slippers, the usual like slip-on, like cotton slippers that they would have at the bottom of the bed, missing as well.
Okay. I will. I'm gonna approach a little just to see if there's anything like a note or anything like that, just that might be an obvious thing, like on a bedside table or something, perhaps. But if they're trying to fake that they're not in, that they're still in their bed, I don't suppose they'd leave a note. So I think I'll
No.
probably go over with the thought that I might have a look and then be like, no, that's stupid.
There's
And-
something about the bedside table that you can't quite tell, but there's something there. You'd have to get closer to see it though.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then, and I think young Victor would have also worn glasses, so he takes his little like kind of crappy bent
Yeah.
little silver framed glasses out and puts them on
Yeah.
and holds a candle so he can maybe see a little
With
a little
lenses
better
that
than
don't
usual.
quite like lenses that aren't quite your prescription. They're just sort of
Yeah.
like found lenses that have been put together in this frame.
Mhm.
And as you like creak your way over with these like cotton slippers of your own on, you see that the bedside table has got crumbs of something on it.
Okay, I it's an orphanage. It's not going to be poison. I like don't sniff them because I think that wouldn't be a thing. But I'm gonna like pick a crumb up and see if I like recognize it and maybe taste it.
Tastes of like spices. It's sweet though, and it crumbles in your hand very easily.
Okay, so it's probably gingerbread. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're thinking that it might be gingerbread. Yeah.
Cool. Are there any crumbs leading outward?
You start to notice that as you walked over here, one of them caught in your slipper, and you can feel it rubbing against the underside of your foot.
Okay,
Now you start
I
to see
guess-
them along the floor going towards the staircase.
Okay, I follow them, cautiously. I think.
So as you walk down the stairs, you hear a voice behind you say, "Do you think that she'll be down there, friend?"
I like roll my neck in slight irritation and ignore the voice and carry on following them.
You follow the gingerbread crumbs until you get to the bottom of the stairs, and then you can see that one of them's been like crushed underfoot, and it's left like a smear of something on the ground that's probably going to be there for like years to come as a sticky spot now. And now that you're in old Victor's mindset, you remember that that was the case, that there was always a sticky spot there that you could never quite put your finger on, but you always managed to stick your foot on.
Okay.
And I think at this point you would know that she was probably out towards that part. And as you look out to your right, you can see that the door to the outside is also left swinging ajar in the breeze.
Okay. I follow still.
What do you think you'll find when you get there? You understand that this is a shadow of your past and not the truth.
And you will understand that this is not your business.
I
And
am in
I
the
keep
business of
walking.
people's sleep, I'm afraid. I guard them as they sleep their eternal rest. But I understand your misapprehension of who I am and who I might be tending to harm. But I guess I'll leave you with the rest of this little trip down memory lane. You ever wonder why these come to you? Perhaps you should ask yourself who might want you to see such lovely things. Me, your friend. Of course, no one's
Yes.
seen.
Good night.
You hate the spider. Okay, so Victor continues on and casts the spider to the back of his mind and continues on towards this door. The door swings open and you can see out, like, probably about 100 feet away from the orphanage, you can see somebody, like, skipping along in a like an unusual way, like legs crossing along the path back and forth until they get to the brush, and they disappear altogether. But wearing the nightdress and wearing the slippers and like with a jaunty little tune that they probably feel confident enough to sing out loud now that they're away from the orphanage.
Okay, I pick my pace up and try and catch up to them. I'm not going to shout because I think I'll wake everybody up, but I'm going to try and pick my pace up.
Victor, what are you doing?
Finally, I caught up to you. What are you doing?
No. Here, looking at the house. Would you have
Right,
tried
I
it?
turn.
She grabs out this chunk of like what looks like brickwork, but clearly made of just solid gingerbread, and she like breaks you off a piece and hands it to you. It's like bigger than your palm, but she's like, try it. It's really good.
I take a piece and try it. I think I trust
It
her.
is the best gingerbread you've ever tasted, but like leagues above it, because you've rarely ever tasted gingerbread being in the position you're in. So
Yeah.
the stuff that you've tried is probably like lower than the average. This is like miles above. It sends your taste buds rocketing. It gives you like this buzz in your mind, and you can't help but think about getting more.
Oh wow. I think maybe we shouldn't eat the whole house though.
Why not?
Perhaps somebody lives there or owns
Well,
it.
yes,
And
someone lives there, but she's an awful witch, and we should just, she does terrible things to kids. Imagine if we could get rid of her, then we could eat the whole house.
how do you propose we do that?
Organize.
And you're sure she's bad?
I think so, yeah.
Sometimes these things are grey areas, you know? I don't
I
think outright murdering an old lady is necessarily the right thing to do.
But is it more right to leave her to kill other people like us?
You make a fair point.
By not doing this, aren't we killing everybody else by default?
Again, a very fair point. And as your friend, I trust your judgment.
I think that when you make your mind up, you should come and find me.
And if my mind's made up now,
You should come and find me.
and where will you be?
Come and find me.
Tell me
Find
where.
me. Find me. Find me. And it echoes through your mind as you then realize that you're back in your bed in Greedle City.
Okay,
And
I
then
think he sits up,
Yeah.
like angrily, almost like frustrated, and then starts to pace up and down for a minute while he tries to think about what's just happened. and
Yeah.
what he needs to do next. But I think he knows what he needs to do next.
Yeah. I think that this pacing up and down is enough to prick up Ruby's ears at this point, but not to wake Ruby in that sense. Like the kind of thing that would make somebody become aware of something, but while they're dreaming. And so, Ruby, while you're in your long rest, you get the sense that there is someone near you who is just pacing up and down, and in half a voice that only like someone with their head pressed up against you in this room would be able to hear. You sort of mutter to yourself out loud, like, "Calm down, stay still." What do you think that Ruby would be dreaming about while this thing is all happening, B?
I think after the day that she's had, she'll be probably thinking about her moral, or her, not necessarily thinking on her morals, but the morality of having the skin of, essentially the skin of something else, given her background.
Yeah.
So that's what I reckon. She might be leaning into the reminiscing, and like people pacing around her, that's not going to put Ruby off because she's going to be used to that her whole damn life.
Yeah.
So that will just make her think back to the dairy and lovely childhood even more.
Yeah. You sort of like jump in and out of these flashbacks of memory where you remember being in a cage, you remember being given the scraps of something by one of your friends or the scraps of something else by another when you were being punished and were left without food, and for being disobedient or for being rebellious. Crazy that Ruby would be a rebel, hey? And as you remember these times, in some lights fondly and in others not, you continue on, and yes, it is true that Victor was asked to look like Robert Pattinson, by the way. And you continue on through all of these flashbacks, and you see all of these like memories laid out ahead of you, and all of them coming back behind you, and you start to get a sense of what lies ahead of you even further still. And as you look into that dark void of not really understanding and not truly knowing what might come ahead, you start to get this sense of something looking back at you from out of the shadows, and you hear in your mind again, "Hello, friend. Seems that you're a little bit uncertain of what is around you at the moment. Is there anything I can help with?"
Hello, I mean this is not a place I've been before, and there's so much uncertainty now with what changes are happening and what my role is in this new world order.
Well, I have a follow-up question for you. Do you believe that it's truly order that you're in at the moment?
It feels much more like chaos. Dead roaming the streets and ghosts. And how long had that elemental even been in, of all places, Dreedle?
One of your
I
friends
can't
mentioned
imagine.
to me about this elemental, and they said that he was as old as time. I must say, I don't truly remember that much of it.
The elemental
I remember
or
him.
time?
Well, both. If I'm going to, can I level with you? I feel that our relationship has grown over the last few weeks. I don't truly remember very far back.
I imagine it's hard to remember far back when far back is far longer than I can think back,
It
despite
annoys
current
me.
appearances.
It truly irritates me. I am as old as time, as far as I'm aware. Why don't I remember the beginning?
Do you know if anyone does?
Certain that some must. I remember the new gods arriving, but I don't remember much about that time.
Is it that something happened, or is it just time itself fading things away?
I'm not sure. I feel like there's a hole in me, in my memory. I'm not quite certain. But there's something missing that I want back. And I think it's part of why I resent these gods as much as just the idea of them calling themselves that. They are not gods. They are mortals with unnatural life. That does not make them gods, whether they're powerful or not. I will show them true power when I bring them down. And bring them down we will. I want you to succeed in this battle, and I want to give you all of the advantages that I can. As I remember so little about their nature, even from the earliest times, I can only truly give you my reason and logic and see that perhaps you can put it to good use.
I'm very grateful for whatever you have to offer. We want the same thing.
Well, I can speak on my observations. I've been in the shadows for many millennia, and I have seen many things come to pass. And usually the hands that reach from Tashurga, by which he means the gods' like homeland, is their territory, it's where the gods live, Tashurga. The hands that I see reaching out from Tashurga usually are not Buri. They're not orcs. Orcs doesn't. For one, he doesn't sit there. He has a place up north somewhere else, but that's a part of it. He likes to be separated from the others. I think he feels that he is superior even to them. He believes that he created all of this. I think he's believing his own lies, because he surely didn't. This place existed way before he got here. He just told people that he made it, so that they would believe that he was unmatchable. Well, I saw what you all did. I saw all of it. And each of you did tremendously well. You nearly defeated him and his kin. You're so close. And I want you to be that close again. But Buri, being so measured and having such a plan, even when he just arrived, does not seem to me to be the person who would allow chaos to reign. He was telling people that he wanted to be, what, ruler of all things, essentially? Martial law. Keep the place under control for peace in all time. That doesn't sound like somebody who would let chaos reign. I think that he's ran off panicked somewhere, hiding in a little hidey hole someplace, worried about what he set upon the world. Perhaps something more than what he expected is happening. Perhaps something different. Perhaps nothing at all. But who's to say what makes a person in that position panic? And I mean person, because he's no god. I am a god. He is nothing compared to me.
So if what this chaos we're experiencing is not of, well, necessarily of Buri's making, then do you know who would want chaos to reign?
I know that it was Odin who put Loki in his shackles, and I know that the shackles were created by the entrails of Loki's children. That's a pretty cruel thing for a person to do to another, especially as Loki was related to Odin in some ways. But look, perhaps the best person to ask would be the creator of those shackles in the first place. I saw earlier today that you had a run-in with Mr. Stiltskin, and sending a message by Ratatosk over to Hugin might be the beginning of a very good plan. Because if you're going to take down Buri, it would be particularly helpful to have another one of his so-called gods on your side, or at least get one of their input. I only know what I observe, and these so-called gods are very private about what they let others see. It's as if I can't even step foot into Shurga. So I don't know what might be keeping me out, but it certainly keeps my vision shrouded from what they're able to do.
Do you think it's the thing you feel is missing, what is lost? They're using that to keep you out?
Perhaps. I don't truly know. I feel it's hard to say. I've been trying to make head or tail of it for a long time. I've been stuck down in my little place. Want to call it my afterlife, but it's truly not really that anymore. It was. I remember that. It was a place that people went to rest after they died. But then the new gods arrived, and they had Valhalla and all of these other places for the gods to have their halls of rest, and the heroes too. And now nobody was going anywhere because the Valkyrie, the scum that they are, were carrying the souls themselves manually. And so now I get nothing? I should be having my share. I was here first. For the first time, you start to see a glimpse of the stranger. You'd like the shroud is starting to lift as for the first time you truly get to see her being angry, and this concentration of like darkness over her starts to shift a little bit, and you see this like pale skin and these piercing emerald eyes, and then the like she starts to realize exactly what's happening, and she like calms her voice down again, and the shroud covers her once more. Luke, I have my own problems that I need to work through, and I've not been able to handle it myself in millennia. Now, I know that you're a friend of mine, and I understand that there are big things happening in the world, of course. And if, by the time it all gets settled, you're able to help me in some ways, I would, of course, repay it back in kind. But I don't know what I don't know. There's so many things that are happening here, and I don't know which parts are missing to know what to look for.
Like you say, you don't know what you don't know. But I can keep my ears to the ground as best I can and see what I can find.
Well, I have given you all that I know. And speaking of your ear being to the ground, I suggest that you probably wake up now, because you're going to have a bit of a problem with your neck, being that you're a little older. Oh, and by the way, if you do wish to get rid of this new aging of yours, although I love the silver in your fur, I suggest that you find a powerful cleric. Clerics are very good at removing this kind of effect, and you might like to go back to your youthful self. I like you as a friend, and I would very much welcome you in my realm when the time comes, but as you are, I think that that might be a little bit too soon. So, wakey wakey! And she claps to get you awake, and as you do wake up, you realise what she meant by ear being to the ground. You have rollen out of your cot, and your face is like smeared on the ground with your ear pressed into it as you have rollen out of bed. And you are now awake.
B as a person has had that happen where she's woken on the floor and
Yeah.
then just stayed asleep when she fell out of bed. Didn't wake up.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I rolled out of bed many a time when I was younger.
Yep.
I had to have sides on my
What's-
bed so that I didn't roll out of it.
Yep. So did I. What's more impressive is the specific occasion I fell out of a bed in a caravan, a static caravan, because
Nice.
the sleeping bag was slippy. So I fell about 4 feet onto the ground.
Oh.
And then my parents tried to lift me back into the... I was still asleep. They tried to lift me back into the bed, picked up each end of the sleeping bag. So obviously I sank in the middle because it's a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
But because they were drunk, they couldn't lift me into the bed and repeatedly hit me on the floor. I was asleep the whole
Amazing.
time. Woke
Amazing.
up inside the sleeping bag on the floor the next day. Had no idea what happened, and it took them about 10 years to actually admit to what they had done.
Wow. That's insane.
I am a deep sleeper.
What
and they
what
were
a
bit
crazy story as well. My drunk parents beat the shit out of me inside of a sleeping bag when I was a kid.
Right? And it kept it a secret for like 10 years.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well,
That's
I think
the worst
that's...
thing that happened to me was
Yeah.
I fell out of bed onto a TV that was next to my bed.
Oh, no.
Ow.
Yeah,
I've-
it was kind of painful.
I've slept through a tornado, a hurricane, an earthquake, and a fire alarm. And the fire alarm was coming from the, like one of those industrial level things. It was not like a beep from a smoke alarm in your own house. It was like a klaxon alarm that was directly above my bed in a dormitory when we were, like, sleeping away from school on a school trip. And it was going off for like 10 minutes and nobody bothered to wake me. And I was just like, woke up naturally and was like, what's going on? And they're like, don't you hear the alarm bell? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? And everybody was fully dressed and had like brushed their teeth and shit. But yeah. Anyway, we could talk about these stories all day, but we shan't. You all wake up. You each have taken a long rest. You've spoken to the stranger in many ways.
No, I haven't.
Did you not?
No, I did not.
I asked at the
Everybody
start
back to
who
sleep.
hadn't. I asked at the start who
Actually-
hadn't, and you didn't say a damn
Everybody,
word.
back to sleep.
I'm so sorry.
God damn it, Ash!
It was literally just Aldrin last week and none of the rest of us. Or
Yeah.
Briar as well?
You weren't here,
Yeah, I think
Ruby.
Briar.
It was at the B. You
Yeah.
weren't here at the end. You'd gone.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is it just Aldrin? And everyone else is just like, I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, my dog was having a dream and being cute, and I probably didn't hear you.
So okay, fine.
She was doing that cute
Um,
little woofing thing that dogs do.
All right. Well, as we're still here, we'll rewind the tape just a little bit, and we'll go back to what Ash will have done during this night
We're all
of
back
sleep.
to sleep, look.
Everyone's still asleep. Everyone's zedding in the thing. Honk shoe. Yeah, very good. Ash, what do you think that you would have been dreaming about as you go off to sleep? What would be the last thing on your mind in the day?
My connection to Ear probably because I spent the last time like trying to get closer to them.
Okay. You actually managed to get a better sort of connection than Briar had. I think Briar's night of sleep was spent talking to the friend and asking, you know, what would entail me leaving Ear as my point of worship and finding something else like you. What do you think that Ash's sort of thoughts on Ear would be? If not leaving, then what? What do you think this connection is building towards?
Well, I mean, you said that the connection had made me feel warmer.
Yeah.
Not cold like the other connection that I had felt
Right.
with the friend. So me being a druid, I feel like I would kind of want both connections, but I
Okay.
wouldn't know how to go about doing that without upsetting both of them.
I think that you probably then have this like split down the middle in your mind of like nature on one side and darkness on the other, and trying to figure out where you sit in the middle of it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you think that you would be trying to Like, which of them are you more afraid of to try and like avoid? Would that be Ear or would that be the stranger? Which one are you trying to put to the back of your mind?
I think with the knowledge that my mom is dead, at least my knowledge, I would be more afraid of the stranger because I don't want to die. I don't have long on this planet,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm not ready to just go and join my mom right away.
Okay. Um. So the question then is, do you want to talk to Ear or do you want to talk to the stranger?
Well, I've spoken with the stranger before, but I never really got the chance to speak with Ear, just felt the connection starting to grow. So I think I would
Okay.
want to try to hear what Ear has to offer
Right.
in regards to Ragnarok and all of that, if that was possible. I don't know yet.
Give me a religion roll. I think that you see this connection to nature as a budding flower in front of you. And although it's starting to take root in the earth, it's still got a long way to go to be a fully fledged plant and flower and be fruiting and have its own life cycle of its own. This bud is still something that has a way to go before it reaches anything of any kind. And that uncertainty is certainly true with Ear as well. You've physically spoken to the stranger as a deity, but you've never really spoken to Ear, nor has Briar. Um, and think that the connection that you're feeling with nature, you can't 100% put it down to being one single deity or another, but you certainly feel like there is something in this with Ear. But you need to deepen that connection and you need to try and find a way to either talk to Ear directly or find another way about worshipping. That's
Okay.
the kind of sense that you sort of get during this dream sequence of being like, everything is still a fledgling and everything is just outside of reach, but like knowing Briar as long as you have now, and knowing that Briar was always a stalwart worshipper of Ear and has been in the time that you've known Briar, for Briar to still not have made that connection and you to start feeling connected to nature but maybe not necessarily Ear, there's something in this that you're maybe not getting, and talking to or interacting with or building connections to Ear might not be the thing that you think that it is. And I
Right.
think that
And I
that's probably
also
what you start to like.
I
You
don't
find a
want my
respect for that.
prayers to fall on deaf ears, so to say.
Yeah, I think that you start to get a new respect for what worship truly is, and that it's having a faith in something when you don't necessarily get that faith returned. And there are going to be deities that are going to speak to you directly, and there are going to be those that don't. Um, and of course, something as important as nature is probably going to be worshipped mostly by not like healers and people like that, but by farmers. Farmers will probably be putting down sacrifices for a greater yield on their crops, or a year without pestilence, or an end to the famine. But things like that, like people will be praying to Ear for that, and you can imagine that a god, so called, having that many voices to speak to them, it's probably going to be a little bit cluttered and difficult for them to discern one single voice in that cacophony. So you might struggle to get your voice heard unless you've got something important to say. And at this point, your goal is just connection. And I think that to form a connection, you might need to find something essential that they need, or some information that they would be not privy to, or just find some other way of getting in touch. Because both you and Briar have struggled to get Ear's ear, and I don't think that's by coincidence. But
Okay.
even with your, I think with your 9, that's essentially what we're reflecting here. Is if you'd gotten a higher roll, you would have made that connection and you would be at least able to feel some kind of emotion coming from that direction. Maybe not a direct line of communication, but you'd be able to like get a sense of what ear is up to, and where their headspace is. But with a 9, you're still finding that, yeah, you've got the logic behind it of, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing this because of certain things, but maybe I am because of others. And that it would be, certainly easier to build connections with less busy gods, but if Ear is the one that you're after, then there's something in the way that you can't account for, and you can't quite figure out what it is that you need to bridge the gap with. And I think that sort of like missing link is probably what this night of sleep is like. The pondering of, did I go for the right worship? Did I not? And I've not seen that yet? Or is there something else in the way that I should be worshipping instead? Who's to say? But at the moment, at this very beginning part of your cleric life, you're not going to have all the answers. You're probably not even going to have one of the answers. So I think maybe talking to Briar or seeing other clerics who are higher up the chain who have done this for longer than both of you might be beneficial if you're struggling to find a connection with Ear.
Okay.
Something to work towards, though. And now that everybody, yes, has had, yes, a dream sequence tonight, yes. Now everybody wakes up. Okay, now everybody wakes up. Shut the fuck up! Now everybody wakes up. I don't care if you have one or not. Everyone wakes up. I
just wonder if Ferdinand the Familiar wanted a dream.
Well, Ferdinand the Familiar dreams about froggy things in a froggy place, but has a little bit more awareness about the froggy lifestyle that he leads. Yeah. But yeah, we did actually manage to get a fairly high roll on that. Mars rolled a 14, and so only now has 86 out of 100 left to become to make Ferdinand a Familiar. Which is very cool. So we've got a chipping away there. We've got a good bit of progress for them to towards. So you wake up. It's the morning. It's still this darker sort of desaturated, deep dark world that you're in, and you still can't quite place like what it feels like to be here. It feels different, but different in a way that you can't quite put your finger on. It doesn't feel colder. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, empty. It doesn't feel like you're floating. It doesn't feel like gravity is wrong or anything like that. It just feels like there's something different about this place, but not anything that you can really put your finger on, and nothing that really stands out as being nasty or bad in any way. So as you all wake up, Aldrin is just going to sort of continue to do things with Ferdinand the Frog, but the rest of you are free to, for one, stand correctly upright, Ruby, and two, talk to each other as you wish.
Oh, did everybody have a good night?
I had a crick in my neck.
Yeah, you wake up with this awful, like, twist in your neck because your face was in the ground for so long.
Well, come here. Let me fix your neck.
I playfully say to Ruby, I thought cats landed on their feet.
Hey.
Ah.
Sometimes we land on our faces.
And you were meant to, weren't you?
Damn straight you do. Acrobatic check, dirty 20, love it. Yeah, so you not only managed to get this like healing from Ash, but you also managed to like backflip your way out of it and stuff when it's done. And you feel not 100%.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah, you don't feel 100% because you still woke up with your face in the ground, but you certainly feel like your mind is now on other things rather than the dream that you just
My
had.
neck.
And the drink and the neck as well.
We are on the older side, the Ruby. So neck aches could probably last a bit longer.
Yeah, you are brittle.
Yeah, I think Isabel, you and me need to go and find a very well versed cleric as soon as we can.
I don't think there'll be any clerics here.
You never know.
I agree.
Apart from Ash and Briar, of course.
Yes. Present company excluded. Yes.
Ruby looks slightly sheepish at the potential insult she's just lobbied at Ash's way when she's just had healing from her.
Fine.
From
It's
them.
fine. I like nature more, so you're good.
Thanks. Thanks.
I think, honestly, on that conversation, Briar would probably know where would be the best place to go to find these people. Like, if you were going to find any kind of, like, high-ranking cleric, there's probably going to be some kind of a place in this world that they're going to be, like, you know, the High Temple or something along those lines. Like, it's going to be somewhere, and you just need to really find where they are. Because they're going to be hanging out somewhere along the lines, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a roll or something I could do to let them know where
Sure. I'll
could
say
go to find that?
if you roll a 15 on a history check, then you'll know the exact location, and any less than that, you'll have to go and talk to your parents about it. Oh, look at that!
Wow.
Exactly 15, cold shot, fucking nailed it. Okay, so 11 on the die, and you managed to remember that in the Red Wall there is a place called the Brand, and it is up in the high mountain tops. Sort of, there's like a wall of mountain around it that provides seclusion from the rest of the world, so that the clerics can focus on their clerical arts without the distraction of the world seeping in and corrupting it. And that's their view on things anyway. But you remember now, like, conversations that you had in your childhood where you spoke to your parents and were like, well, you're clerics, but I don't see other clerics around, so where are all the clerics? And you remember them being like, well, they don't really live around here. They wander and they look after people, but then the main place that they all come from is the Brand. And you've seen that on a map and you know exactly where it would be, but it's sort of in the mountains, but not somewhere that you could 100% find the way to on a walk, you know. But you'd know roughly whereabouts to go.
I let everybody know that we need to go to the Brand. Then
That can be our next our next destination. I'm sure.
Yeah, after we're done here, we can head to the Brand.
Victor looked like he wanted to speak to somebody.
He does look like that was an actual Victor sigh. He's like, yes.
There's a couple of people, really, aren't there?
Yes, I suppose so. I think one of them maybe more importantly than the other. Maybe it's better if I don't speak to the other one, to be fair. But yes, I need to speak to an old friend. Do you think there's anywhere around here we can get some breakfast, or does anybody have any?
You've probably got
Yeah, there's a.
You've probably got like half a wheel of cheese still left in your bags.
There's a food place nearby. We could always swing and get something that's not cheese.
Please.
Like, that cheese wheel's gotta smell horrible.
Cheese smells horrible anyway.
That's a sign of a good cheese, I'm told.
I
Besides,
think you guys need to understand that when cheese smells, that's a really positive thing, and bad cheese, well, I'll let you know if it's bad cheese.
yeah, Ruby, coming from a dairy, probably knows the most about
Ruby grew up in a
cheese.
dairy.
Yeah,
Ruby knows a lot about cheese.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay.
I give any check that requires cheese, Ruby gets advantage on.
That makes sense.
You know what? I'm going to abuse the fuck out of that.
I'll expand it. Any dairy-based check. There you go.
Right, I'm
believe- I
ready.
believe
I'm
it.
primed.
And Victor, working for a bacon place, any bacon-related checks you get advantage on.
I mean, no, I didn't do the baconing.
You really
That's-
needed that
that's-
when we were investigating
I
Sir
know that
Curly.
I know
Victor.
that's not a verb, but it needs to be one. I need to be baconed. At some point, someone needs to bacon me. Please.
I'm not the baconer. I'm not the baconer.
Oh,
Who do
but
I
we
ask
need
if
one.
it's about
Did
a
you say the
bacon and cheese
Baconator?
sandwich?
Because that's a sandwich here in the U.S.
Oh, I've not heard of a baconator.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, it's basically just a cheeseburger with a bunch of bacon on it.
Baconator? I barely know her. Anyway, moving on. So you guys know that there is a tavern south of here. You just need to go across the crossroads and you'll find your way there. Is there anything in particular that you want to do in this place before you leave? Or are you headed there right now?
What is the build? Sorry, I don't know if I caught that. What actual building are we in?
You're in like
This
we had
is,
this whole conversation because people were saying tavern last time. When tavern is definitely a meeting place for people to eat and drink and not sleep.
We're
And an
We're
inn
an inn,
is a
right?
different thing altogether. And they were all
It's more
saying
like a
tavern.
hostel.
They were all saying that they wanted to find a tavern to sleep in, and I'm like, there are no beds in the taverns here. You went to like a hotel hostel kind of a deal. That's where you went, and like for 5 minutes we had this argument. Anyway, yeah. So you are in like a lodging, is what I would call it. This is like a lodging house. It's like a low rent hotel. People come in, they pay a couple of coin, and they leave. This is in a mirror dimension. People don't tend to pay for things in this place, you could imagine, because everything here is up for grabs and it's filled with thieves. I don't think a thief would really care much about taking payment or giving payment. So you are, like, basically you just wander around and there are no shopkeepers, which is unusual given that you just spoke to one the day before, Rumpelstiltskin. But he's a different kind of shopkeeper, shall we say. So, you're all
Dead
going
kind.
to this place?
Yes, let's go and get
Right.
some breakfast.
Let me just
I think
move
I
you
need
out into the
something to
street
eat
then.
before.
It'll be a lot easier if I just move you out into the street.
There's a dragon.
Because there's always someone who fucking walks into a wall and is like, but I can't get through the wall. Yeah, it's because it's a wall, friend. Can you get through a wall in real life? If not, then, you know.
Watch me.
I will. I'll watch you 9 3/4 your ass into a fucking wall, Steve. I'm not talking to Victor now.
And here we are, Twitch plays D&D.
Yeah, I know, right?
To a wall.
Running into a wall. Okay, so the group want to head south towards the taverns so they can get something to eat and drink.
Correct.
You see the crossroads around here. You see that the general sort of people that were milling about before are still milling around now. People are just sort of in and about their business and doing their best to sort of keep away from everybody else. Because in a thief paradise filled with thieves, you never really know who you can trust. So they're all sort of keeping to themselves and sharpening their own blades and doing their own work on their own kit and not trusting anybody else to carry it out because they would probably run away with it. But that, you know, those are their prejudices, and Victor will have to deal with that in time, I guess. As you go south, you get to the crossroads. Is anyone going to move there? Can I ask people to move their tokens?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Was that a long rest that we just took?
It was
Yeah.
a long rest, yes.
Okay, my bad. I didn't. I'm gonna hit it now.
Yeah,
but
go
I
for it.
didn't before. Okay, thank you.
Ruby's
Fucking
just
Ruby
going
doing
to
fucking circles again. Use your click on it and use your WAS and D keys, and it will move your character without rotating.
Help.
Help.
Just click on your character, and you can move around like this without having to drag the fucker.
Oh my god.
Look, fucking honestly. Anyway, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's game changer. It's a game changer.
Ooh.
I know all the functions. I just don't crowd your minds with it. Right. So there's 3 different places here. There's one place which is like the kind of place where you would go to like bake things of your own. There's another place that you would go to get breads and things, and there's another place that you would go which is like filled with pillows, and you can just sit down and lounge in the space. Where do you think you guys would be going? The bread shop, the more professional place that you bake your own stuff, or the lounging spot?
What sort of checks would you have to do for your cooking?
Why do I have to cook for myself?
It would
That's
be
really
cooking
great.
tools.
Yeah,
There are chef's
I
tools
think
in this.
I think we've all written off the cooking for ourselves one.
Well, does anybody have any proficiencies in chef's tools?
No.
Aldrin's got alchemical supplies.
I have cook's utensils. I think I
That's
actually
it.
do.
That's
I think
it.
I have proficiency.
Yeah, Ruby actually has
Me.
proficiency
Chalk.
in cook's utensils. Yeah, that's it.
In
That's
cheese.
chef's
I have
tools.
proficiency in cheese.
So you could bake some. You could
Hey,
like make a nice little
Because
like
it's cheese related.
a
I haven't
cheese
found
crisp.
it.
Yeah, you could make everyone a cheese crisp lunch or breakfast or whatever.
Oh, I
Cheese
could make
omelette.
everyone a cheese sandwich.
An omelette.
All right.
I don't know.
So- So the
Make a
place
cheese
is
omelette.
directly east of you here. This place is the
Omelette
place
du
where you would
fromage?
bake your own stuff.
Mhm.
There's a big old furnace inside that you can use as like a stone hot plate kind of a deal. And yeah, you all can sort of head inside. There's a nice like oven on the left side of the room there. And there are spaces inside for you to sit down and take sup with your breakfast. I'm just going to move you 2 through because you're not doing it yourselves. Go. Oh, I moved Isabel.
I'm so excited for Ruby to roll a 1 on the cooking check.
Okay,
I
well,
have advantage because
this
I'm going
is
to make a
a
cheese bake.
dairy-based check, so Ruby gets advantage
Wait,
on this.
Victor,
I'm so
Victor.
ready.
Do we have access to bacon?
Oh, now this is a question.
No, I'm
Can-
assuming they have some ingredients in here.
Do me an investigation
Right? If
check,
they're
please.
cooking, we're
Victor.
not just cooking our own stuff.
Victor,
'cause
do an
then that's
investigation
do
check.
an
You'll be higher than
investigation
me.
check,
Do it,
Victor.
do it.
in a
You've got a
room.
high bonus on investigation as well, so I'm expecting high
Please do an
numbers from this.
investigation check for bacon, Victor.
If you get a 20 or more, you can find bacon. Any less than that, and absolutely not.
Oh,
The
no.
thieves
I
have
would like
taken it.
to offer the help action.
Oh, Victor's going to get advantage on this check. So
Can I
Victor, give me
guidance him?
advantage on an investigation
Brian
check.
wants to give guidance.
Brian wants to give guidance. Okay, give guidance
just-
then. You got to throw out that spell in the chat. And then Victor, you can get an extra. I think it's a D4 on top of this. I think Steve's actually disconnected. Steve, are you still here? Yeah, I think we're having technical
Too excited
issues
for
again.
bacon. Too
We're having technical
excited for
issues.
bacon.
So we're going to do an investigation check with a plus a D4 with advantage. A 30! He only got a fucking
he-
30, didn't he? 17 on advantage.
Where is all of the bacon?
Oh,
He's
you
not-
get... You don't
Yeah.
just get like rashers of bacon. You get like a joint of bacon. This is an incredible find. This is a thick old hunk of meat that is like cured, like salt cured, and is like smoked and doesn't look maggoty in any sense. And it's just the perfect like cut of meat for this exact breakfast treat. And so, yeah, Ruby, you're able to do this check with advantage using your cook's utensils, please.
Cool.
We're aiming
He's
for
just trying to.
the higher the better. 14 is
God damn it.
respectable, but I think that you overcook some of the bacon and it burns a little bit because you're not used to the bacon side of things.
You're very, very quiet.
Welcome back.
Hi, sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Welcome. So we did your check for you. I rolled it on your behalf, and you got a 30. Here, there you go. Yeah, you did cut out.
Yep.
So yeah, you rolled with advantage. You got a 4 and a 17 plus guidance, gave you a 30. So you found like a perfect cut of bacon meat, like a great haunch of meat that had been smoked and salt cured. And Ruby has just rolled to see how well Ruby can cook it and got a 14 with advantage. So
That's pretty good.
yeah,
Can I take
all
your
right.
inspiration?
But you know, you've seen better bacon cheese things. But everybody now gets like, how are you cooking this? Is this like, are you making an omelet? Is this like a
I
cheese
think omelets
sandwich?
was requested, so I'm going to be making a bacon and cheesy omelet, souffle omelet for everyone.
Ash, how do you feel about eggs being used?
I mean,
They're not yours.
they're not mine, yeah. So circle of life.
Wow! Oh,
Victor.
wow! Okay,
I'm
I see
here
how
for
it
Make
that.
their
is.
own
I'm here
eggs,
for
so
that,
it's
yeah.
fine.
I see how it is.
Ruby
Wow, okay.
specifically gives Victor the burnt omelet.
Oh, Isabel.
Oh, as a cat,
Jen!
would you be making biscuits? Yeah, you're like kneading the cheese. Like you don't have like you're like softening the cheese before you like throw it in, and your
Yeah,
paws are
there's
getting
now
in there.
some like tabaxi hair in some of these omelets, and they are
And most of
specifically
it
being
is-
given to certain individuals.
Most of it is grey
I don't know who
hair
you're
as
talking
well.
about.
Yeah, most of it is grey hair as well because Ruby's getting old past her years. And you all have this lovely breakfast. You sit down. You feel all of the world's woes just sort of drift to the back of your mind as you have this beautiful, crispy bacon, cheesy omelette, and you all just sit down and finally get the chance to be people again. And I would say human again, but you are all
Careful.
way more than human. But you get to be people again. You get to be humanoid, you get to be who you are. And it feels just great to finally have that opportunity. You're not running from the law anymore. You're not running from the gods anymore. You are in a place that is filled with people who are too focused on their own shit to bother about you. And with that now in mind, Victor, you remember that you need to go and find your friend.
Yes.
Where do you think that Victor would begin this search?
The same place he saw them yesterday?
So that was the alleyway, and you walked past that point. You didn't
Mhm.
see her there.
Yeah, I'd probably return there, I think.
Cool. So I'll just move you to that spot. It's
Do
basically
I
just right there.
do I know? Sorry, do I know of? I think we might have discussed this before. The location of the gingerbread house from here.
That's in Ironfront. That's near the orphanage
We
that
do,
you
yeah,
grew up at.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
near the orphanage that you grew up at. You're far northeast of that on the other side of the
Yeah,
mountain range.
yeah. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
if you were to make it there, you would have to go through the Red Wall Mountains or around them, basically.
Okay, then I will head to where I last saw them, I suppose.
So I've moved your token to exactly where they were on the map. Is everybody else going that way as well?
Yeah, I'm going to thank Ruby for breakfast on the way, obviously. I'm polite.
Well, we can't let Victor disappear again on his own, right?
That's up to you guys and up to Victor,
Maybe
I
we could
guess.
stealthily follow.
I mean,
Oh
you're
no. Wait. Come back in here.
you're welcome to come with, but
Oh, never mind.
um,
I was just gonna cast Pass Without Trace on us so that we can sneakily follow him.
Okay. So everybody,
I mean,
everyone gets
I'll leave if you want to wait for me to leave and then sneakily follow me. You can.
everyone
Well, you
gets
invited us, so
everyone gets a +10 to their stealth rolls then if Victor is not a part of this.
Yeah,
Pass
just
Without
before
Trace.
I leave, I'm like, you're welcome to come with. I can't imagine it'll be terribly exciting, but you're all welcome to join. You're my friends. You're the only friends I have apart from the one we're going to talk to, so you're very welcome to join. Everything seems important to everything we're doing at the moment, so I can't imagine it's anything I'm going to keep a secret from you anyway.
okay, we'll just follow along then.
Oh, sorry, am I in your way? I'll move.
Move!
Move, bitch!
sorry.
Get out the way!
I push him into the ditch.
Oh no!
Ah!
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
he
don't
just
do
like
that. I
falls
don't
into
do
the
that.
sewer.
I
Oh! I just washed these. I just
I-
washed these.
I'm
I
joking. I
offer to help him
don't
out.
push him. I don't push
Comedy
him.
retract. Comedy retract. Okay, so
Mm.
he gets back over this way. Okay. So yeah, you all sort of make it to the street. You see that Aurelia is not there. Where do you think that you would want to look for her?
Oh geez, I have no idea. Maybe Rumpel's shop. Then.
You could go to Rumpel's shop for sure.
Yeah.
We just can't leave the guy alone, can we?
I mean, I want to leave the guy alone because. Yeah. My other option is to stab him.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we'll just move you guys down the block then, and you're outside of Rumpel's shop. That is this one. Anything in particular that you want to do before you go in, or are you just heading inside?
Are there windows?
Yeah, you are stood outside of a greenhouse. I have mentioned that this one is Rumpel's shop.
Ah, my bad. My bad.
But yeah, you can look in through the greenhouse all you like.
That's my bad. I'm gonna go to the window in Rumpel's shop, which I assume is this.
Yeah. You just
Okay.
see him like you can see him sort of like he's got that weird like cocked head that people have when they're trying to reach an itch that they can't quite get to, and you can see that his hand is like behind the counter and he's quite short for the counter's height anyway. You can see that he's probably like scratching his arse or his foot or his leg or something.
Oh.
But yeah, he's just trying to like go for an itch and he's gritting his teeth while he's going for it.
I tap my dagger on the window.
Yes,
Gently.
one moment. It's still the morning. Give me a moment. I'm just getting the inventory out on the shelves. And he continues to scratch.
I take a big deep breath and I'm gonna just go and try the door.
Door's open.
I'm gonna walk in. Good morning.
Oh, I am sorry. Yes, I was about to come and open. Did I forget to lock up last night? Oh, I'm very
I come in as
naughty.
You must have done. Did you finish digging for your treasures?
You saw, did you? Yeah. And he brings his finger up to his nose, not to sniff, but to like he like starts picking his teeth.
Steve doesn't like that
Gross.
in real life. Victor doesn't care. Do you not recognize me?
No, not much. Are you a customer of mine? Unpleased customer, probably.
Why would you assume that?
Nobody's pleased with my wares.
You gave me this rather nice dagger, and I'm gonna just stick it in the countertop.
Oh, and what a wonderful dagger this is as well. Oh, I remember this one. Glows whenever you're near rats.
Not anymore. Or I'm sure it'll be glowing now.
Oh, yeah, we did get rid of the vermin around here a little bit.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, I see. You're insinuating something. Well, that's interesting. Well, no refunds. Sorry, it's yours to keep.
That's fine for now. Instead of a refund, could you perhaps tell me where my friend is? Or if you've seen them today.
I seem to remember us having an exchange of information the first time I gave it to you. I'm not giving you another one for free, but you can take something else off of my shelves in exchange for something.
I leave.
Toodaloo!
I
You in
turn
the
around,
doorway, would you like
and I'm not-
something?
I'm not dealing with this guy anymore. This is the alternative to stabbing him, so I leave.
I seem
leave
to
the
remember
door.
you weren't particularly intimidating yesterday when you tried to threaten me. Are you sure, Isabel?
I just let door in.
Yeah,
Wow,
I've
on a
already
first
left
name
him. Like,
basis.
let's not worry about him.
Victor,
Perhaps
Victor,
this. Yes.
you can throw a snowball at him.
I could throw a snowball at him,
You could
but
throw a snowball at him.
I
This
hold
is a
out my
very
hand. Wait.
this is such a like meta thing. Someone's
I hold out my hand for the snowball that Ruby has obviously already made.
Ruby has prepped the snowball. It probably wasn't meant for Rumpelstiltskin, but it's now going to be because she's very excited by the prospect.
And
She had a very good morning.
yeah, and I'm gonna go and just open the door and aim directly for his nose.
okay.
Where the
Give me a ranged attack. So that will be
How do I
dexterity
do
plus
this?
dexterity plus proficiency. No
Yeah,
bonus.
where's my? I'm just gonna do a range. I'll just do a dagger. That's the same thing. Ugh.
Some
What the
shit for
fuck?
brains called journalistic
11.
knowledge
Rolled
won't use it
terribly.
because it's spam detected.
And his AC right now is 11. But he casts
Journalistic
shield,
sat in a corner
and
for 10 seconds, and
unfortunately,
now they're
you
allowed
see
to
this
rejoin the
thing
kids'
like
table.
rebound off the shield that he creates.
I just point my dagger at him. I'm like, okay, and I leave.
It seems like you might want some information and you just don't want to have to pay for it. Well, I'm afraid things don't work like that around here.
What's the furthest I can get away from this guy?
Ash walks up and closes the door.
I didn't mean to. I'm going in.
I love how everybody closes the door somehow. Okay, yeah, go on.
I set down 10 gold and say, I want to buy this information the way I like to buy this information. Can you tell me where his friend is?
His eyes light up and he starts like putting his fingers across the counter and like creeping them way over.
Information.
No, you
Now.
are a tricksy one. I like you. You just get straight to facts, and I like that. His friend, well, name the friend,
friend
and I might
Aurelie.
help. Aurelie. Oh, well. It
Here's
would
5 to
be.
jog your memory. You get the other half when we find her.
It would be her, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
She's got about the same attitude about me as your friend does out there.
Well, that's why they're friends.
Well, you might find her in the tavern or in the alleyway, or if not, she's probably in the guardhouse. She thinks it's hilarious that she takes up residence there. But I don't think she's that funny.
On good faith, here's the other half. Thank you.
No, and he brings both of his hands across the table and starts grabbing at the cash. Been a while since I've seen gold coins. Oh, I like gold coins. He puts like 2 of them between his teeth and starts biting. Breaks his teeth immediately. Oh, very good.
All right. Victor, they said to check the guardhouse. She apparently enjoys it there.
Thank you. You have infinitely more patience than I.
No, I don't know about patience, but I mean, I gave him money, so he gave me an answer.
Pietro? Yes, Duncan. I think we might be in the middle of a conversation that we don't want to be here. I'm going to go down here away from these rebels.
That was amazing.
That caught me off guard so much.
Duncan, they're following us. I'm not okay with this. This riffraff is really taking the piss.
So we should go to the guardhouse. Do we know where the guardhouse is?
The guardhouse is southwest. It's where you went on the first time you were in Dreidel.
Oh,
Ruby and Isabel, if you keep this up, you're going to be rolling initiative in a minute, and you're going to be fighting these guys. That's
she's only in the guardhouse because she thinks it's fun to take up residence there.
It sounds like a.
Yep, and they don't know that she's there, so we might need to play this a little low key.
I don't think there's going to be guards here of the same kind as there is at home, I suppose.
I don't know what that means.
That maybe the guardhouse isn't for guards in this particular realm or whatever it is we're stuck in.
So you're saying we should keep our stuff close to our bodies?
Yes.
Okay, understood. I will let everybody else know. Hey, I'm gonna say it like real quietly so nobody else hears. Make sure when we go in there, you hold on tightly to your possessions.
Oh, don't worry, I'll
Mainly
keep my
your
axe in
coin.
hand.
give me a stealth check to see just how quiet you are.
We know this will be a
Okay.
successful roll.
Yeah.
It will absolutely be successful.
Yeah. A 4. You rolled a nat 1.
One.
You rolled a nat
Oh, jinx too.
1. So as you say that, you hear
Shout
Pietro and Duncan, who are very aggravated by Ruby just mean mugging them constantly. They put their ears up and just start wandering slowly over this way, just looking at their blades and not really doing anything much, but just wandering slowly.
Towards us.
Yeah.
Can I just casually bring my axe out and put it in my hand as if just twirling it?
In Thieves'
gonna pull
Camp
out my
sign
phone.
language, I'm gonna sign they're not from around here. You don't want any trouble to them.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, I think I can do that. Oh my god, I've got a +7. Oh, that's not me.
That's not you. That's not you.
It's
That's
me.
their
Oh
insight.
jeez. Okay, shit. Okay.
They sign back. I see we might be crossing lines a little here. We'll let you on your way.
I just signed thank you. Quickly.
No problem. And they wander off down the street.
Nod my head. Okay.
Pietro and Duncan.
See how
Yes.
stealthy it can be? Super quiet. I know how to whisper. I have
It was
lips.
very quiet. It was very quiet. I had to lip read. I'll beak read, I suppose. No offense.
No, I mean, obviously.
So yeah, you remember going to see Aurelie the first time you were here in Dreidel when she got
Yes.
arrested and taken to the guardhouse. And it was sort of the barracks that's over here in the corner. Far, far, far corner left of where you are. So as you come to this cross junction here, you just take straight left and go to the building in the corner.
Can I kind of keep an eye out for anyone following us or looking suspiciously at us or anything as we go?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. What's your is this an active perception check that you
It's more I think it's more my kind of general perceptiveness in that kind of situation, if that makes sense.
So
'Cause I think I'm naturally,
perception, then.
Looking around and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm that kind of Victor's
Yeah.
that kind of person.
Okay. You can see that there is a different dragon guy who is following you.
Oh.
He was the guy in the alleyway, north of where you guys were.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, what sign language did we agree on as guys? As a bunch of guys.
That's just a bunch of guys.
As a bunch of fellas.
As
just
a bunch
Okay.
of guys.
bunch of buddies.
Yeah.
Well, good old buddy, old pal.
We actually had We're Being Watched as one of them, so I'm gonna do our
We
little.
have Hide, deception, flee, hold, danger, stop, and follow.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Maybe danger then.
Yeah,
Perhaps, just to kind of...
I have those exact ones in a different
Okay.
order. So yeah, danger,
That's
stop,
cool.
follow, hide,
I
deception,
must have
flee,
put in
and
an extra
hold.
one there.
You could probably just do danger and point.
Yeah, I'm gonna like gesture backwards, like with my head and eyes, essentially, to the
Why is
guys
it
and
back of
just
your head?
Head
gesture
and
for.
eyes. I like the distinction.
What?
So
Yeah.
as you like stare at this guy and nod in his direction, he hides quickly behind the corner as he clearly sees that he's been made. Because that's hard to disguise the fact that you are nodding and staring at the guy. But yeah, you point in his direction.
Ruby is having a sorry.
Go on.
Ruby's having a terrible social awareness day, so she's just gonna go straight up to this dude and just be like, "What the fuck?" She's gonna go around this corner and just not actually say anything, but
Yeah.
just appear around the corner and just stare at the guy.
I just make
Partly
sure
because she
Ruby's
doesn't speak
okay.
Draconic either.
He's tying his braces, like he's got the laces on his braces, and he's like tying them really tight and stuff.
Ruby, I think we better just continue.
And he
Ruby
looks at
doesn't
his like
respond.
he's like strapping down his bandolier of throwing knives as well, and it's like not making
Ruby?
eye contact with you at all.
Tug on her a little bit, so come on.
Gets his sword and he's like strapping
Ruby's
his belt tighter.
gonna awaken mind into this guy and just say, "Stop following us."
He starts whistling and looking up at the gutters and just starts like playing with the trailing vines that are coming down the wall, like just like looking at them curiously.
Ruby then just backs away, but she doesn't turn her back to him. She walks backwards, hoping Isabel moves out the way.
Well, yep.
I think that being that you've only ever done that once, you like, I think that you probably do like nearly walk into Isabel a little bit, just like butt into Isabel a little bit and just like knock Isabel out of the way before Isabel learns to move. Yeah, you do get that way.
Ruby's not having she's had a great morning with some eggs and bakey, so wakey. She's just, she's very excited and giddy.
Got some legs to breaky.
Is this an old person's I don't give an F sort of thing going on?
Yes, we'll go with that.
An old tiger and an old human just walked up and mean mugged him, and he's just like, "Oh, that's kind of awkward."
And we're just threatening people.
Yeah, he's just like, "This is really awkward. I need to just like not look at them, and they'll go away." Their vision's based on movement, old people.
Ruby just is, Ruby only forgets what she looks like until she backs into Isabel, clocks what Isabel looks like, and just goes, fuck.
Oh yeah, that's what.
You hear the sound of sprinting away into the distance. Yeah.
Ruby resists to throw a snowball and joins the group again.
So you're now at the end of this street. You see there's a few people down the street. There's humans and there's Dragonborn again. As we discussed last time, the dragons are here because dragons are like marginalized in this realm because people see them as being the object of heroic acts. Like, oh, there's a dragon in that tower. Well, I'll be a hero if I go and slay it. And so people who are dragonborn or have draconic bloodlines like Aldrin, or are just full dragons and can polymorph into a humanoid shape, those people are looked down upon and are sort of pariahs in normal day-to-day life, and so that's how they've found their way into this realm. Like this demi-plane is sort of here as their refuge from those people. So many of them are thieves and rogues, but some of them are just here to try and hide away from the people who would be bullying them or, attacking them or trying to kill them. So many of them are here just to try and get away from the rest of the assholes of the world. But yeah, you see a bunch of thieves, a bunch of rogues, a bunch of dragons just going about their business, all the way down the street. And there are shops and there are places that are, locked up tight, and there are places that are not so locked up tight. But you do remember that at the very end of the street here, this whole area, this whole section down here, this is all the guards' barracks. So there's there's the stables here on the left, and then you had the storage area, and then you had the with like a small cage in there, and then you had the kennels, and the kennels was where Aurelie was kept in one of the cages there. And then the actual like barracks with the beds is right here at this corner, and the door looks to be open.
Yes, I will head towards that door.
Right.
In that case, let me do that. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Anybody else who wants to follow behind, just move your tokens match. I think that Aldrin is probably going to be doing something with Ferdinand the Frog, so it's going to keep some distance, but keep close enough that can probably help out if needed. So it's just going to be here, sort of dealing with Ferdinand the Frog. You also, as you're still walking, you notice again the dragon born that was sort of waiting by the corner is up here waiting, watching you again.
Which guy is it, sorry?
The guy who followed you down the alleyway, the guy that you saw wandering down the street behind you. You see him stood here now.
Oh, it's that guy. All right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just stare at him for a minute and see what he does, I think.
Ruby, I think both of us should just well,
He
not make
bends
another
down.
fight, just
He bends
distract
down
him.
and starts like tying up one of his shoes, like he's like the fancy equivalent of that, like his armor. He's just like strapping up his like boots and stuff.
This guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruby awakens mind into the guy again and just be like, thought I told you not to follow us.
He like looks around for who might be saying this. It's like, God, I swear I'm hearing voices. The guy next to him's like, oh, you too. I hear them all the time.
Ruby, therefore, hearing that, awakens mind into the guy stood right next to him and go, I think you need to have some fun with that dragonborn.
Did Jeff tell you that?
What is going on? I don't...
That's what you hear back from
Did
the
he
guy.
say that out loud? Did Jeff
He said
tell
that
you
in his mind back to you. Did Jeff tell you that?
Of course Jeff told me. Who else would tell me?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Martha.
No, it was Jeff. This wouldn't be what Martha would say.
How do you know that?
Because Martha's a person I'd like to chat to. More so than Jeff.
You don't know Martha. I know Martha.
That's okay then.
Who are
But
you?
I still don't trust that dragonborn. Who am I? I'm Karen.
Oh,
Karen. Oh.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
Karen.
And you're a new person in my head now.
I am. It was after you got your last haircut. I appeared.
Haircut? Well, so a while ago then. You can see that his hair is like trailed down below his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's got
I
like
don't talk very much.
claw-like fingernails. His toes are poking through in his shoes. He's like very, very unkempt. Stinks to high heaven. You could smell him a mile away. He's stood here not looking 100%. We can easily say. But yeah, he's like, wait. So you're new in here, and you've been here since I got my hair cut? So you've been waiting in the background this whole time?
I like to choose my moments to have the most fun.
You know what? I am just the same. I'm a very anxious person. I'm going to go about my day now. Thank you. You should come with me.
Enjoy your day.
And he walks off and starts like talking basically in his head to you until you can hear him fade because he's wandered too far outside of your range. This other guy's like, wow, that was weird. He says that out loud.
Gonna
Oh, yeah.
awaken Mind the Dragonborn and just be like, can you fuck off? Right now.
Again, who is saying that?
The boogeyman.
I
don't hear anything. What are you talking about? Who are you
Listen.
talking to?
He's talking out loud in response to what Ruby is saying in his head. So he's like,
Yeah, I'm
if
replying
I'm gonna
to him.
fuck off from anybody, I need to know who I'm fucking off from, because otherwise I might be fucking to somebody. Is that the grammar?
I don't know who you're talking to.
Ruby then out loud says, I'd rather you don't fuck to any of us. Can you fuck off? Go away.
Oh, it was you! And he runs away down the block again.
Is he
now
gonna
that
continue
that's
to be a
all
problem?
happened, Victor, as you turn back from all of that, you see Aurelie stood in the doorway being like, are you going to stand out there causing trouble this whole time?
I don't think so.
Are you
May
going
we
to
come
come
in?
in?
If you let us. I've been looking for you for a while.
Anything is better than you being out here harassing my intern. Get inside.
Is that the one who was following us?
He's supposed to follow people who look shifty.
That's a little rude.
Well, look.
Which?
You are definitely shifty. Nobody could say not. But your group, my god, where did you find these people? I remember them from last time and they weren't pleasant to me then. They're definitely shifty though. So he's just doing what he was told to do.
I believe they found me as much as I found them.
Right. You hear the Kenku directly behind Aurelie say, "Found you!"
Oh no.
What did he say? I didn't hear.
Yeah,
Found
I
you.
thought it cut out.
Yeah, I
Found
thought
you.
I
yeah.
don't know if it cut you off.
Yeah,
It
I
might
was
off
like,
because
oh,
of it might off because of volume. But they go,
Yeah.
"Found you!"
Who's your friend?
Oh, don't worry about her. That's Maggie.
Hello, Maggie. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello!
I bow a little.
Hello!
Hi. I shout to the door. Please, everybody, come in. It's okay. They can come in, right?
Come in!
Okay. Yes, please come in. Don't stand outside in the snow.
Aldrin moves past Maggie, looks up briefly and like smiles hello, and Maggie sees the frog and immediately like takes an interest. Oh, frog! Pet the frog! Aurelie turns to Maggie and says, "No, that one is Victor's friend's frog. You don't pet that frog." Oh. Why not pet the frog? Because you know what happens when you pet animals. Let's just leave this for now, please. My friend is here, and his friends are here. So, Victor. I guess you got my message.
I did, yes. Yes. Very,
Wait, I should say, which message? Because I've been sending you a few.
Oh, I suppose the last one was the gingerbread. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh.
That's to say, doesn't remember necessarily if he caught any of the other ones. I think that was the first one I found, right?
No, you've had one before.
Oh.
Might I say, though, not a physical one.
See, you're kind of staticky, by the way.
Oh, am I? Maybe I knocked my... Is that any better?
No, it's
Not really.
it's all right. It's sort of, we can hear your voice clearly, but there's clearly some like interference as you do. Might be just your microphone is a bit, I don't know, dusty or something. I don't.
Oh, strange. Can I? Could you remind me what the other one was? Is that allowed?
Me or Aurelie?
You.
If you didn't pick up on it as a message, then
Yeah.
you wouldn't have known it to be a message.
Okay. I just can't remember. It might have been a little while ago. That's all. That's okay. Okay. I mean, if you want to tell me anything I might have missed, then I've had a rather hectic few weeks.
She sort of bites
What?
the inside of her cheek and narrows her eyes at you. She doesn't break eye contact with you and doesn't say a word. After a minute, she starts tapping one of her feet.
At one of her feet.
She's tapping one of her feet in
Oh,
impatience.
okay. Okay, then I must have missed them. I'm sorry. We've had like an end of the world thing and a missing mayor and crocodiles and people vanishing, and a few of my friends have made a new friend. And Rumpelstiltskin's a dick.
Yeah, she breaks out of her irritation at that point and goes, "Yeah, but to be fair, I'm a dick to him on the regular, so."
I don't think you need to pay it forwards to me though. But
it's always fun when you're hanging out and you've got nothing to do for the afternoon that you just go around and fuck with him.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna
show me.
I'm gonna cut to it. You clearly haven't noticed, so we'll move past it. But I'm not the Aurelie that you spoke to before. I am, but I'm not. I died, and Maggie here reincarnated me.
Right.
Hello.
I mean, you look different, and I didn't want to, make a huge deal out of it. People change.
I give life.
And
Yes.
I appreciate you for that. My friend is
Maggie,
still here.
You give life. Okay, so she like steps in close to you and whispers, not so quietly, in your ear. So the rest of the room can hear, and Maggie is just too fucking bird-brained to like pay any attention. But yeah, you can see that she starts like playing with the strap around her head. Maggie basically has this mechanical beak that, like, part of her real beak you can see whenever she speaks. You can see that she like had some awful traumatic thing happen to her in her past, and the beak never got grown back. So she has this like mechanical one that's like strapped over. It's all made of like brass and hinges and iron and scraps and stuff. But she like starts playing with the like fiddling with it, and she's a Kenku, so she can still only mimic people's voices that she's heard before. But she's like just playing with it while Aurelie leans in and says, She's a necromancer, but I wouldn't let her around your friend's pet over there. And she gestures over her shoulder towards Ferdinand the Frog. Look, I don't think that she really understands how the magic works, that you can bring people back and you don't have to kill something to replace it. I think that there's some kind of a disconnect there. Because whenever she like heals someone, she'll like grab an animal and just kill it and then heal you. And it's kind of freaky. But yeah. We'll just keep her away from your friend over there, the green friend.
Okay.
Keep her away from the green friend's frog pal. The frog pal might end up being I don't know, a dead frog. I don't know.
Their name is Aldrin.
Oh, Aldrin. Sorry,
Mm.
Aldrin.
No. That's okay.
Aldrin raises their hand and is like,
These are my other friends. I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder. Are you okay?
Look, it's been rough. It's been rough. We're here hiding from Buri. I think you might have run in with him as well.
Yes, very
And
much so.
the whole thing was just a complete like clusterfuck. Look, basically, we thought that we were being hired to take out important people because they were holding on to power that they didn't deserve, and I'm nothing if not that kind of a person. However, in this moment, I now realize what it was that we were being asked to do. We were the unwitting hit squad for Buri to take out the 4 points that held on to Loki's leash.
Yes,
And so
we may have had a hand to play too.
Right. Well, we want Buri dead, don't we, Maggie? Dead! 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 Okay, Maggie, calm down. Maggie. Dead! Oh. Look, we want Buri dead. But there's some things that don't add up. Because Ragnarok? Really? Ragnarok doesn't... What? No one's ever really known what Ragnarok is. It's only ever been a threat. So why are they telling us about Ragnarok now after it's happened? And they can't even put their finger on exactly what Ragnarok is. And winter spreading? Well, I'm sorry, but winter was spreading before Ragnarok started. This alleged Ragnarok, whatever it was. So there's something else happening here that has to do with the winter. And it's never been this bad before. You remember. It's never been this bad.
I remember.
So, why is winter going the way that it has? Where is Buri gone? And how the fuck do we find him so we can kill his fucking coward ass? Now that he's started something he doesn't understand, now he's run off hiding somewhere? That's the best information that we've got so far. We don't know for sure exactly what's happened, but we know that someone is involved from Buri's crew, and it's made everything difficult for the rest of us. Oh, Simon, you're back. Yeah. So everybody, this is Simon. You scared him off. Simon, if you're gonna lurk and follow people, remember that you need to be hidden while you do that. I thought that I was hidden. And then I heard voices in my head. And he shrugs and is like, so fill in the pieces. And Aureli's like mouth agape, like hands out, and then just face palms. And he's like, you see what I have to work with here? This is why I need your help, Victor, because I know that you are capable. And Simon... And then she just lets the air hang empty for a bit. And anyway, we need to deal with this whole Ragnarok thing, but we also need to deal with Loki being free, because, as I've found out, those 4 people really were in charge of keeping Loki under wraps, and now that he's free, I don't know how he's going to feel about me, for one, helping him to become free, and then stopping helping him becoming free. I think that someone who's been leashed down in a cave for eons is probably going to be a little bit unhinged. And I don't want to find out how he feels about me. So, if you and your pals could maybe work together with a plan with me and Maggie here. Maggie! All right, Maggie, calm down. Then maybe we could do something about all of this. How do you
So you
guys
want
feel
us-
about that?
Do you want us to talk to Loki?
I want you to come with me and kill Buri.
I'm not against that plan.
And
How
the
does
rest
everybody
of
else
you?
feel?
I am not against that plan at all.
I think we need to head to his farm as soon as possible.
Farm.
I'm yet to lop some heads.
Do you
Farm?
know where his farm is?
Sorry, what is this about a farm?
Buri the ox lives on a farm, apparently.
You know where the farm is?
Did I roll a
Somewhere
history
north.
check to see if I can remember?
It's somewhere north, I think.
Huh. Okay. Think I can work with this. Look, my resources are limited, but I still have a few cards that I have left to play. Some people who could give me, you know, a little information in exchange for favors, or pull in some old favors. But the people who owe me haven't heard from me in a long time, so they might not be happy about seeing me. And the people who might more likely have the information will definitely want something in return. So I think maybe we need to discuss and decide what route we're going to take with this, because this could go south real quick. And as I'm hearing, we need to go north.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
Question! Question! Maggie, calm down.
You said Maggie brought you back.
Brought him back.
Can Maggie
Brought back.
bring back a demigod?
That's a good question. Maggie, could you revive a demigod? Maggie just cocks her head and stares out of, like, one of the eyes on the side of her head and just glares, like, pigeon-brained. Not responding. I think we broke
I'm
Maggie.
wondering if they could bring back Jack.
Uh,
Or nobody.
Jack.
Perhaps if you all worked together.
You... Wait. Are we talking about the Jack that can't die?
Yeah, Buri killed him.
How?
We were there, we saw it.
I think that there's either something big happened and you didn't recognize what you were seeing, or the stories are not real. You know the story of Jack, right? Rumpel told you? That's why you're angry
story?
at Rumpel?
There's several stories.
Did you not ask Rumpelstiltskin about Jack?
I didn't know.
Oh my god. Well, this is going to take some time. And with
Should
that,
we go and ask him now?
with that, we're going to end the session.
Oh crap.
I think that was a really good session. We managed to get through the long rest sort of dream sequences and stuff. You had a bit of fun in and around Dreidel. You scared the bejesus out of somebody, and you sent somebody else away with what he thinks is a new friend in his head. You've now met Arelli, and Maggie, and Simon, who was this dragon folk who was making a piss poor job of trying to tell you. Who'd have thunk that a dragon would be bad with a tail? So, what are your thoughts? What did you think to the session?
Oh, it needs to be longer.
Sorry, friend, I can't do that.
I can't be any.
Did you like Duncan and Pietro that popped up in the middle there?
They were ridiculous and I loved them.
Those were just like in the moment, I realised that there were just 2 Dragonborn that were just stood in the centre of your conversation, and I just had to come up with NPC characters to talk. Like, I think we're in the middle of a conversation and we should leave.
It sounds way too posh to be in a rogue place.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best
See,
cover.
I full on misunderstood that they were referring to our conversation, and
Yeah.
I thought we'd interrupted theirs, which was why Ruby was like, "Well, fuck you, I'm going to follow you." So that was
No.
just full on
No, so
misunderstanding of a
They
situation
were,
on my
yeah,
part.
no, they were just fully like, I think we're in the middle of a conversation that we should leave. And they walked off to be away from your conversation, and you followed them down the street. And so they were like,
Yeah,
these people are just
I got
mean-mugging us
confused.
because we were in the middle of their conversation. This is kind of
I
fucked.
thought they were being rude to us and being like, "Well, we are in the middle of a conversation, and these guys have just cropped up." I just misunderstood the situation. Let's just put
Yeah.
it there.
I think that is 100% accurate. But yeah, we have learned so many things. You have also learned that... So let's recount it. You've learned that that there's something about Ia that you're just not quite fathoming yet. And there might need to be some exploration there to find out. You have discovered that the stranger, aka the spider, has some gaps in their memory and she can't really figure out what is missing. And in a moment of rage, some of her black shroud lifted and you saw pale skin and emerald eyes. You also heard that Buri is in their farm up north and generally speaking keeps separated from the other gods who live in Tshurga. You have also sent off this message to Hugin, one of the ravens of Odin. Hugin being of thought, feeling, mind, and consciousness, and Munin being of will, intent, concern, wonder, and curiosity. And you have been encouraged to go and seek the counsel of Odin to get some information about how to defeat Buri. Which might not be such a bad idea, because if he's so separated from the rest of the gods, then truly how how loyal are they really likely to be? So you've got a lot that you have found out in all of that. And then towards the end there, you also found out that likely the winter spread had nothing to do with Ragnarok's events. That Areli has been reincarnated and so is not in the same body, which is why she looks so different. Because the reincarnation spell, if you're unaware in D&D, is not just a revival in the same body. Reincarnation is you get revived in a new body, and it's a percentile die, a D100 that you have to roll to determine which race you're going to be. And so Areli has luckily gotten the same race, but looks incredibly different. And you've then discovered that Loki, of course, may be happy about Areli's role in loosing his leash, but also might not be very happy about it. But either way, Loki is actually free, and who's to say what's going to happen now? You've asked Maggie whether Maggie could do any kind of revival of a demigod, and Maggie's response was to completely blank out and for her mind to break. So I'm not sure what the answer to that might be, but it may not be a yes and it may not be a no. You also discovered that you might want to go to the Brand in the Redwall mountain range, because the Brand is where all of the high clerics stay in their so-called ivory towers, where they basically keep themselves separated from the world's events so that they can study their clerical arts. And if you are to find a cure for your aging process, then you might want to do that. But yeah, you've got things to be finding out about and plans to be making. I suggest that you all get in the tavern in the Discord and just talk about it over the next week. and say, what do we think we want to do first? Because there's a lot to be chowing down on here. And obviously, some of it you're going to want to prioritize and do first. Some of it you might want in your plan, and some of it you might not. And of course, there's talking with Arelli now about exactly what is the story behind Jack and why does Rumpelstiltskin know about it. So much to be thinking about.
So much.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but you had a very fruitful session. Like, every conversation that you had was an important one to have, apart from perhaps talking to the people in their heads and telling them that there was some person called Karen in there now.
Right.
That was certainly
Hey,
entertaining, but I
last
don't
time
know if
I
we got a
did
lot
that,
out of
I
it.
created a paladin. So
Who
you know
was a
what?
bad guy? You created a paladin. Who was a bad guy?
I never said it was a good thing. I said it was an interesting, useful conversation. That's what I was insinuating.
I clenched so much at the idea of that being a helpful thing that I just farted without meaning to. So that's the level that you've got me to, of me completely not being on board with that being a helpful situation.
Dude, you've once
There.
farted in my face, so there can't be much worse.
You once punched me in the
Yeah.
balls.
Pause.
You once punched me in the balls. So
And
And
then
you farted
did that
in my
make
face.
you fart?
it didn't make me fart. No, it made me fall on the
Right.
floor
Separate
laughing because it was
occasions, but
hilarious.
Luke
Right,
has
okay.
full on farted in my face once.
Yeah,
So,
it was different occasions, but I fell on the floor laughing when I got punched in the balls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else in the room was laughing but you and me.
Yeah, and it only hurt for like a second. I was on my feet again after that, but it was still hilarious. But you know,
It was. It
There you go.
genuinely was. The
and
farting
you've-
in my face was not.
and we have punched each other in the face repeatedly as well. So there you go.
We're very good friends, everyone.
We are very good friends. Only good friends could do the damage that we've done to each other and still consider each other friends afterwards.
Yep, can't wait to see you tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, man. Let's punch it out again. All right, that's the end of the session. What a note to end it on.
I'm gonna spend the day tomorrow not hitting any of my friends.
or farting at the idea of things being.
You're not
useful.
doing friendship correctly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not promising.
yeah.
I'm not promising no farting. All right.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you everybody for being here, for being awesome. As usual,
you.
it's been a pleasure. We no longer have Cryptic Critters on Mondays now. It has finished. The finale went well and they all succeeded in their fight. Mars in chat was one of the fighters and managed to fend them off. As a request, basically, it was going to come one of two ways. That if the group won, then Regnar, the owner and runner of the Cryptic Critters business, would be an NPC somewhere in the world in Aladressa because it is in the same universe. I just don't allow the storylines to cross, you know? So if they'd won, then he would be an NPC that you would meet in the future and potentially be helpful to you. But he is a paladin. A paladin half orc, half gnome. So he's like a tiny orc. And if he lost, if the group lost, then not only would all of those characters be TPK'd, like fully dead in this realm, but the bad guy that killed them would also be an NPC that you would have to deal with as a bad guy. And he was level 15, part barbarian, part, you know, dickhead, but he was also a construct, so he was immune to certain things. And yeah, thankfully they beat him and beat him heartily. And so you will in the future have the possibility of meeting Regnar, as well as having some of the people who played characters in Cryptic Critters coming and being guest NPCs for you guys. We also have David, my good friend from Sweden, coming by to be a guest NPC for you guys in the future as well. He was in my first campaign. he played the fool who decided to brush his teeth with dirt, and I gave him botulism as a result. So that's what you get when you brush your teeth with dirt, folks. Don't do it. Not even once. Dare. Anyway, that's where we're at with this. So you've got a lot of information to digest. You've got many, many guest stars coming and playing with you in the future. You've even got the possibility of forming up with the paladin who led Cryptic Critters. And it all tots up to one result. Great times had by all. So I hope that you all had a lovely time today. And we'll be back the same time next week with more D&D for everybody who wants it.
Yes, please.
Of course.
And as always, please be good to yourselves. And if you can't do that, then at least have fun. And I will see you all next time, and maybe sooner if you come and see one of my Minecraft mega builds. But love you all. Bye.
Bye.